Gather around, my friends, it is time for another captivating story that might just make you stop and think. It's about a group of ordinary men, fishermen, who met Jesus and ended up changing the world. And these men, they didn't attend fancy schools or have fat bank accounts. They just had willing hearts. So, sit back, relax, feel free to sip some tea, and let me tell you what happened. Once upon a time, somewhere in Galilee, there were two brothers, Peter and Andrew, walking with their fishing nets by the lake as usual. Like someone walking the streets on a regular day, Jesus came along. Looking up at them, he said, "Come, follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men." So the two men, unsure of what the future held, but something about Jesus drew them in. And so, they left their boats, their job, their source of livelihood, and actually followed Jesus. Can you imagine leaving your well-paying job in a prime area, the bonuses, allowances, and the car and house that come with the job because you sense something greater is calling you? Soon, Jesus gathered more followers, including James and John, two other fishermen who left their father behind to follow him. Together, they traveled through towns and saw miracles every day. Sick people received their healing, the eyes of the blind were opened and they could see, and people with broken spirits were lifted. These fishermen were seeing things that no one could explain. One day, they sat together in a boat, trying to get across the lake. Out of nowhere, they were hit by a storm. The waves were crashing over the sides. These men, though they had some experience at sea through their fishing days, were terrified. And there was Jesus, asleep. Yes, asleep. "Lord, wake up, they said. When he awoke, he simply spoke to the storm, "Peace, be still." Instantly, the storm calmed. Can you imagine the expression on their faces? They realized this wasn't just any teacher. After Jesus returned to heaven, these same fishermen became bolder than ever. Peter and John went into the city, teaching people about Jesus. One day, right at the temple gate, they healed a man who couldn't walk. People crowded around, amazed. However, the religious leaders were angry and arrested them. In court, the leaders asked, "By what power do you do these things?" Peter, unafraid, said, "By the name of Jesus Christ." These leaders looked at each other. They could see Peter and John weren't educated men, but they noticed their boldness and realized these men had been with Jesus. Paul, one of Jesus' followers, later wrote, "God chooses the simple and humble to shame the proud." Jesus wasn't looking for rich or highly educated people. He was looking for willing hearts. These men had that, and God used them to spread His love across the world. So, my friends, this isn't just a story about fishermen. It's a story about you and me. God doesn't look at your status or what you own. He looks at your heart. When we say yes to following Him, He can use us to do amazing things. Remember, Jesus only asks us one thing: will you follow me? And if we say yes, He can do wonders through our lives, just as He did with those fishermen.